streaming. Alright, stream should be working now. Yes, there we go. Lucas, how about now? Yes, excellent, excellent. Alright. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Zar Antonov, President of the United Republic of Obscurium, coming to you today once again from the Digi Micro Summit for one last time. Since there are no people here present right now, well, except for Lucas and myself, I have decided to stream this last part of the presentations live. So you may watch it outside of the platform and also watch it later. Now, Lucas, have you let me know when you sent off the post, and then I'll start with the presentation proper. Now let's wait for a moment. Oh dear, everything is lagging a lot again. Is the post out, Lucas? Okay, excellent. So I'm going to start now. I've got two things prepared for you today, and the first thing is about the Obscure Draconian Naval Academy. The Helgi Halvardsson Naval Academy, to be specific, as you can see here. It's a collaboration between Obscure and Dictionary, and Afra has prepared a text for this presentation, which he also gave at the Micro Euro Summit this year. So I'm going to try and read through that. I'm gonna start with this, with our motto: Ventus sapiente navem meam impellit. Our motto. And the translation of this is: the wind of wisdom drives my ship. Because, well, narrow Latin motto, sapienta potentia est. Knowledge is power. And with the knowledge you will gain by attending this academy, you will have the power to build up your micronational navy and start your successful micronational naval career. First of all, there's the motto. Let's get to the name. It was named after Icelandic Coast Guard commander Helgi Halvardsson. I probably butchered that pronunciation, but that's I'm not fluent in Icelandic, unfortunately, so apologies for that. Helgi Halvardsson gained fame in the Anglo-Icelandic Cod Wars. And you may be wondering why this brave sailor in particular was chosen, but we were looking for a name that not everyone recognizes, and that is also somewhat special. And furthermore, Helgi Halvardsson participated in all 3 Cod Wars, so I don't know if there was no other person we could find that first class at least that participated in all 3 of them. So there you go. It was actually founded on the 29th of February 2024 by Obscurian naval personnel, Jan Akali and Zar Antonov, and then, of course, by Archduke Arthur of Dictionary. And but it hasn't taken up its work just yet. Although it is, when it starts properly, next Declaration Day in March, it's going to be the only active micronational naval academy right now. Fortunately, the Molossian Naval Academy no longer exists, and this is kind of our way of finding a new creating a new naval academy to fill that void that was created through the lack of that wonderful naval academy, which I myself also attended and graduated from, which gets us to the next point. Managed by experienced staff, I feel that qualifies me partially at least to talk about this. Also, I'm an aspiring historian, so that'll lead into that. There will be 3 basic online courses. If the presentation slide will move on. And the whole thing is also done in the cooperation with Ujupis University through Jana Kali, who is helping us with that connection. Oh, there we have another slide on Helgi Halvardsson. He also had quite cool nicknames, Mert Helgi and Napoleon of the North. But, you know, of course, if you want to know more about him, that will be a part of my course, which is Course 1, Naval History. That's what I'm doing. I already touched on myself being an aspiring historian. I'm going to be talking about historic naval traditions, naval battles and tactics, and of course, especially the court wars, Helgi Halvardsson and that whole dispute between Iceland and Great Britain. Because it may sound like, oh, court wars, like an actual big military conflict, and it was a conflict, but it wasn't like a traditional naval conflict in that sense, so it's going to be quite interesting looking at that. And then we're going to look at the use of micronational navies as well, historic engagements, and what you can even do with your micronational navy, realistically. Because realistically, you're not going to be able to compete with macronational navies normally. So we're going to look at what a micronational navy is even there for. Then we have Course 2, which is Basic Military Tactics and Security Service from Jana Kali. He has been a security guard for some time, and therefore he is also qualified to talk about this topic. He's gonna talk about the basics of security guard duties, legal aspects as well. That's also very important. Basic self-defense techniques, because that's always something useful to have. A bit of criminology and maritime security and safety, because having a navy not just about defending yourself against others or exploration or any of those things. It's also about keeping your ships afloat, not having them sink due to disrepair. So that's going to be very important. And it also ties into the next course, Course 3, which is going to be presented by Arthur de Tourneau, Archduke Arthur I of Ductionary. Naval Basic Tactics. Maneuvering for advantageous positions. Strategic deployment of naval units. How do you do that? He's going to talk about that, and he's also going to introduce you to sailing and motorboats. He has completed a course in that some time ago, so he's also qualified to talk about that. And there's also going to be a little bit of geography and a section on the law of the sea, which in the past has led to a lot of confusion and misconceptions, so hopefully we're not going to clear that up a little. How everything will work is as follows. Each course will consist of a 3 1-hour long online lectures, and summaries of the presentations and the presentations themselves will be sent to students. A form will be sent out, and based on trust basis, we will check everything. Of course, this is going to be done on trust basis, just like the Molossia Naval Academy was, but obviously there is no way to actually control your progress, and we don't have any interest in that either. So we will trust you, and then there will be a final exam in the end after approximately 10 weeks. Though bear in mind, all of these informations are subject to change as we are still working out some of the kinks, so things may change here. This will take place exclusively on Discord and YouTube, and there will also be a website to go along with the whole thing. But the website will mostly contain informations. If you're interested in signing up, and the material will be provided to you through Discord and YouTube. And here we have a lovely picture to end this all from joint Dacono-Obscurian naval expedition. So, and there another picture. And some more pictures. Goals for the future. We want to found eventually a distance learning university, also perhaps in closer cooperation with Ujupis University and other both macro and micronational educational institutions. And we would also like to eventually offer a Master of Arts Design and Art Theory program. But that's still to come. As I said earlier, March 2025 will be when the courses will be starting, and this is where you could find informations then. I don't know if this website is up yet. No, I don't think this website is up yet, but it will be up soon. So that's something you have to look forward to. Now that's everything on the Naval Academy. Now we will continue on to give me a moment here to set this up. I think it's a bit slow right now. Now we will move on to the next topic, which is something you will not be expecting, because at first sight it's not a micronational topic at all. This topic is John Franklin's Lost Expedition. But I'm going somewhere with this, don't worry. This is not a going to be a 1 hour long history lesson. Here we go. As a matter of fact, I did, this is a repurposed presentation from my school days. There we go. Maybe that's a bit too big. There we go, that looks good. Right then. So, some of you may have heard about Franklin's Lost Expedition. Actually, next year is going to be the 180th anniversary of the start of this expedition. So I'm gonna go through this real quick. First of all, of course, everything starts with the Northwest Passage. It's this, back in the early 19th century, it was this legendary sea road to Asia, 5,780 kilometers long. But of course, nobody knew it back then because it was still not completely explored, and previously people weren't even sure if it did exist, or people thought something completely different existed which didn't exist. They tried to find connections through North America, and in the end, as North America was explored, only this connection remained. So people tried to find a way through it, and that's where Franklin's expedition comes in. The British Admiralty really wanted to push through, so they look for a man to do that, and their fifth choice, I believe, was Sir John Franklin, who was an Arctic veteran, but also known as the man who ate his own boots. He had been to the Arctic previously, but during his last expedition, things went wrong, and he had to resort to eating his own boots. So, maybe not the best nickname to have, especially not for if you're going on another expedition, and he was not the first choice, though he was qualified still. And so they took two ships, the HMS Erebus and Terror, Darkness and Fear translated, which are two very good names for ships going to the Arctic. You can see a lot of foreshadowing here. Now, they chose these ships because they were iron-plated battleships and they had steam engines. So the idea was, even if they get stuck in ice, they can still keep themselves warm, and they can also keep the ships from getting crushed because they were reinforced with iron. They stocked the ships with 3 years' worth of supplies, took 120 men crew and fixed 16 officers, and then they went off to the Arctic. And they left England in May of 1845, so next May that's gonna be 180 years, and in July they were seen off the coast of Greenland for the last time by Europeans. Now after that, a lot of what we know is speculation, and also from artifacts that have been found. What we do know is they wintered off Beechey Island, and 5 people died there, which is not a good sign for an expedition either. 5 people die in the first winter. You can see the graves there, and be advised, the next images I'm going to show are very disturbing. So I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds to avert your eyes. Okay, that's long enough. They actually opened up the graves and found the mummies of the gentlemen who died there, still quite well preserved, and also gave us information on why they might have died. And lead poisoning might have been one of those factors, because the tin cans they had with them apparently weren't properly sealed. Okay, disturbing imagery is gone. They sailed onto King William Island in 1846, but off the coast of King William Island they were trapped in ice once again, and they never left that place, the ships at least. Apparently they stayed 2 more winters on King William Island, and 24 more people died while they were stuck there. Until April of 1848, when we get the last report directly from the expedition, which is the Victory Point note. It was a note left in a cairn by the expedition, and it said that basically what had happened between those years, how many people died. Sir John Franklin died as well, and that they were trying to head for, you can see behind me, you can see it right now, they were trying to head for Bagsfish River. And well, what were they going to do when they got to Bagsfish River? Well, trek across the Canadian wilderness and try to reach the nearest bit of civilization. A couple of thousand, I think, well, at least hundreds of kilometers further south. So at that point, the expedition was pretty much doomed. And what we know from after that comes from artifacts only. You can see the black crosses here. That's where artifacts were found, and this is the presumed route they took south. So they got pretty far, but eventually they all died after a 400-kilometer march at the longest, and nobody survived. The British did try searching for them in 1848, but they didn't find anything before 1850. 1840, and between 1850 and 1855 they found a lot of artifacts, they found bodies. They talked to natives who gave them some reports, and also talked about cannibalism, and there were also signs of cannibalism found on the bodies, but well, the British refused to accept that their men would resort to cannibalism, so they blamed the Inuits instead. And some of the bodies were returned, but a lot of the bodies and a lot of the artifacts still remain in the Arctic to this day. And the ships were only found in 2014 and 2016, so quite recently, because to this day it's quite a difficult area to navigate, as a matter of fact. As you might have seen, there is this TV series called The Terror, released in 2018, which is quite good. I can recommend it. And there are also other works of literature, art, and music that are all inspired by the Franklin expedition. So you can see it's quite a big part of history, and that's why Obscurium wants to commemorate the 180th anniversary of the start of the expedition by announcing the Inter-Micronational Year of Exploration. Now, the Inter-Micronational Year of Exploration is going to be talking about all sorts of expeditions, but not only about Western explorers going out and discovering things, because it's also going to try to shed some light on the first explorers. Because when the first humans left Africa thousands of years ago, and they spread throughout the world, that's when exploration really started. And of course, we don't remember, we don't know the names of these people or where exactly and when exactly they went there. Only rough dates and based on science we found, but still, those native, later native people of those areas were the first explorers. So we also need to talk about and consider those. So the International Year of Exploration is going to be concerned with both sides of this, but it's also, of course, concerned with micronational exploration, which is why there will be 4 points, 4 things for micronations to do during this year if they wish to participate. Number 1 is visit and document one interesting place which is rarely visited or noticed, or which is in plain sight but often overlooked. There are a lot of those places, and micronations, of course, bring attention to smaller things a lot of the time. So here we can continue that trend and bring attention to some lesser known places, obscure places, if you will. Then you can conduct an act of exploration, for example, a straight line mission, naval expedition, urban exploration, etc. Something like that. Though bear in mind, we do not condone or recommend that you break any macronational laws while doing this. Because when I talk about urban exploration, people are going to think he wants us to break into abandoned buildings. I don't want you to do that. You can go into abandoned places legally. It's all possible. But if you decide to break the law, I'm not responsible for that, but I can't stop you either. Celebrate a historic act of exploration relevant to your micronation or its culture. Some micronations may have some cultural relation to an act of exploration, so this year is perfect for celebrating that. And then fourth and last, we will all release a joint stamp issue on the topic of the Northwest Passage and Franklin's Lost Expedition together with the other participating micronations. I will be designing that stamp over the coming months, and then it will be offered to all participants. Further details on how to participate will be released later today, and we look forward to receiving messages from you regarding this inter-micronational year of exploration, working together with a lot of other micronations to explore this topic together, if you will. So those have been my 2 last presentations for this Digi Micro Summit. I thank you all for attending and listening to this. If you're listening, whether you're listening to this or listening to it later, and remember, later on there's gonna be a diplomatic reception, so you're welcome to attend that as well. The last part, the award ceremony, is going to be cancelled because nobody showed up for the trivia. And remember, in 1 year there's gonna be another Digi Micro Summit, and so be sure to attend that. I've been Zar Antonov, President of Obscurium. Goodbye.
Well, I'm here.